Now, we have two type of system. One is the traditional system, which of course many of the companies, when I was looking into the poll, some people are not using it, legal compliance management system. I don't say it is not a system. It is a system. Certain disadvantages associated with the traditional system. Now let us first understand what is the traditional system. There are Excel-based compliance checklists, Word-based compliance checklist, paper-based compliance checklists. So those companies which are not using the new wave system or the technology system, they're using the Excel-based, paper-based checklist, which I feel that is a paper-based and the report certificates are prepared manually. So this is a system. I'm not saying it is not a system, it is a system. Now let us understand what are the disadvantages of this traditional system, which if I say in other words, it's an advantages of a new system. Now, what are the disadvantages? Somebody who has drawn the Excel-based compliance checklist, that laws may not be outdated. He may not have updated the system because he didn't have an opportunity. He may or may not, but most of the probabilities he may not have updated the laws. As I mentioned in my first point, he may have updated it, but it is not updated on a real-time basis. Checklists may be limited in scope and may not be comprehensive due to limitation of the format. In the checklist, you must have mentioned that yes, you have done the compliance on a particular date, but it is not backed by any proof, any attachment. Checklists and reports are prepared manually, as we know, which is a time consuming, and the dissemination of information to the leadership team is delayed. So because you get the reports from the plant, you compile it, then you summarize the data. So there is a time gap involved, and the leadership is not getting information on a real-time basis. You have 10 different offices, 10 factories, but the different 10 factories are using a different format. It may be possible. At least I have seen in some companies, yes, this practice is there. So there is no standardization of formats of the checklist. Now, once you receive the checklist, you have received it. Suppose you have a 10 factories or a 10 offices, you have received the 10 kind of papers. But on a global basis, on a consolidated basis, you may not be having a data on a click of button. You have to compile it manually, calculate the score, aggregate the numbers, and then you come to know that what is the compliance status for the company as a whole. Whereas in the legal compliance management system, you can on a click of a button, you can find a location-wise data, function-wise data, or even with the company-wise data as a whole. As it is a paper-based system, you can see it consumes a space and the logistic cost to store the historical manual data of compliance, because you have to, as per the archival policy, you have to store your compliance reports. You may never know that tomorrow there is a non-compliance in the company and you want to plug the reason why it is a non-compliance has happened. So you have to store the papers. And last but not the least, historical compliance data may not be readily available because it is stored at a different places, different stores. So you have to spend the time and it is not available. So I feel what disadvantages I have mentioned you, these are, if you converse it, it becomes an advantages of having a legal compliance management system.
Welcome to Complinity Technologies. Complinity is India's leading governance, risk and compliance software helping companies to manage their compliance, contracts, litigation, legal updates, inter-financial controls and more. Complinity is a one-stop shop for all GRC needs. With our proprietary 12 GRC modules and real-time legal updates on 2,000 plus laws and 24,000 plus compliances, all in an integrated platform that is easy to use with automated alerts and risk management capabilities, is why compliance managers, general counsels and chief financial officers choose Complinity every time. Join the most innovative and prestigious brands that use Complinity. Automating your compliance management. Request a demo at complinity.com.